Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're going to be listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We've been doing this for 20 years. Very proud of that. Nation's longest running community podcast. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in our community, whether it's food insecurity, it's financial literacy, working with the homeless or Alzheimer's. They are always involved in major causes. So pleased to have in the studio with us today, Oceanside Museum of Art, Maria Mingalone. She's the executive director. How you doing, Maria?
I'm doing really great. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're honored to have you come in the studio. How long have you been in this role at the Oceanside Museum of Art?
You know, I'm really happy to say that I'll be celebrating my 10th anniversary this August.
Oh, my goodness. How old is the museum?
The museum is 29 years old.
20. Now, have you been involved with it more than 10 years or just since you've been the executive director?
You know, I was actually recruited, so I moved from the East Coast to Oceanside, California to take the head of the museum.
Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations. What were you doing back on the East Coast?
I was at a museum in the Berkshires, Berkshire Museum. I was there for 14 years, and prior to that, I was in New York City, and I was at Socrates Sculpture Park, and I ran a fine art print shop, and so I've been in the art field, nonprofit, for decades.
What got you into that nonprofit and focus on art? You always interested as a kid, or your parents, or aunts, uncles?
Well, there was a legacy. My grandmother was an artist, and she used to bring me into the city. Every year we'd go to several museums, so that was my entree. But then I was trained as an artist, so I'm a painter and a printmaker, and I was a teaching artist. And when I moved to New York City after college to be an artist, I started teaching and doing programming, and then programming led to my first executive director role in a nonprofit, and that's been my career ever since.
What did you paint? What type?
I actually am not a painter anymore. I've actually been making ceramics recently.
Oh, okay. My mom was a painter, and she had a gallery in L.A., and she did oils and then watercolors, and was pretty well known at the time. And I could barely do a stick figure, for God's sake. And so I have a great respect for folks that do that. And she was on the board, I think, of Laguna, the Festival of the Arts, and we'd go to the Pageant of the Masters, which you're familiar with.
Yeah, that's really fun.
It is. It's absolutely crazy. So Oceanside Museum of Art, we are blessed in this county, and as you well know, of having phenomenal museums. And I'm sure you participated in Museum Month and are participating in it, and so forth. What do you love most about your museum?
What I love about our museum is it's built into its DNA is its community spirit. And so we're really about accessibility and everybody having access to an art experience. The museum is elevating the talent of Southern California, and we are always rotating exhibitions, and there's a relevancy and a freshness that you feel when you come to Oceanside Museum of Art.
No, that's great. And you're expanding, are you not?
Is that outrageous?
Talk about it. It is outrageous. My goodness. Talk about that.
You know, we are fulfilling our founder's dream. We started in 1997 with our first official exhibition in Old City Hall, which is an Irving J. Gill building. He's a renowned Southern California modernist architect. Okay. And then a few years after, in 2008, we opened our Central Pavilion, which is a contemporary building, and that is designed by Fred Fisher, who's a really renowned architect outside of Los Angeles. And at that time, part 2 of that renovation was to include the fire station, which is then completing the museum's campus from corner to corner. The fire station, 1929, is also designed by Irving J. Gill. So we like to say we're growing from Gill to Gill.
I like that. I like the fish analogy, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's Fisher, of course, in that aspect as well. How long will that take to complete?
We are just finalizing our capital campaign. So we started in March of 2024 with a $10 million campaign. We are at 9.35.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's not easy in this world.
No, we're so excited and we're so delighted by all of the incredible support that we've had. And so we plan on doing groundbreaking about a year from now, and it'll be about a 14-month project. So we're imagining August, sometime in the summer of 2028, where we'll do our rededication.
Oh, that's fantastic. Talk about some of the exhibits that are going on now.
Oh, the museum is just really so exciting right now. We have a beautiful exhibition called Matrix Multiplied. It is it's a fresh contemporary look at printmaking and experimental printmaking techniques. And one of the most extraordinary pieces that we have in it is an artist that's from TJ, and it is a 9-foot bee that is sculptural.
Like a honeybee?
Like a honeybee sculptural.
All
it's
right.
quite beautiful. And then we also have a solo survey exhibition of David Ady's work. He is an artist who's been working in the San Diego region for decades. He's a professor at Point Nazarene College, and his survey exhibition is just gorgeous. He is one of the most innovative artists that I know on the planet. I mean, he's doing such incredible stuff, so people should come and see that. We have a great exhibition by an LA-based artist, and he does these incredible simple machines. So there are these wire sculptures, and if you think like the Goldsberg, that they're really fun, and we do our 5th grade arts education program with that, where the 5th graders are studying simple machines in their classroom. So Aaron Kramer's exhibition is really fun. He's going to be doing an Art for All on the first weekend of June, where we invite anyone in the community to come by for a free drop-in art program on that Sunday, which is, I think that's June 6th. And it's from noon to 2. And then we also just opened an exhibition of paintings by Kate Tova. She's also LA-based artist. And they're these incredible immersive floral paintings, landscapes, and they're all about art and wellness. So it's called, what is it? How to rest my tired brain, or something like that. And
I think we all can do that in this day and age, for that matter.
It's really fantastic. So.
Yeah. So we're talking about Maria Mingalone. She is the executive director of the Oceanside Museum of Art. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. I noted here that 50% of the attendees get in for free. Yeah.
So, the museum was founded by volunteer community residents, citizens of Oceanside. And so baked into our DNA is this community spirit, as I was saying. And so accessibility is a really huge pillar that we built our museum on. And so we offer free first Sundays. So full museum hours, 11 to 5 on the first Sunday of every month is free. 5 to 8 on the first Friday evening of every month is free. Students are free every day, year-round, when the museum is open.
Students 18 and below, or
yep.
Wow.
18 and under. We have a great partnership with Front Wave Credit Union, and through the NEA, there is a program called Blue Star Museums, and we're free to active military and their immediate families. So our proximity to Camp Pendleton, that's a really very important initiative that we have. And so we really make it so that the museum experience is something for everyone.
Right. Do you look at doing some exhibits? Obviously, it depends when the exhibit is available and all that would tie to the military. Do you have any?
Yeah.
Okay, talk about that.
We've had a 9-year partnership with Vet Arts. Vet Arts is a program that uses the arts as a way to promote health and wellness. Are you aware of it? You're nodding.
Well, I do a military show as well with the Rear Admiral David Boone. So
So Steve Dilley and his team at Vet Arts, and when they started, they were doing bronze castings of live castings of military servicemen's faces. And so we did a beautiful exhibition of that. And then we partnered with, we've done, I think, 3 exhibitions now with Vet Arts. So yeah, we do.
Yeah, well, listen, you can't help but not get the military involved when you're up in Oceanside, for that matter. And of course, a lot of the military-connected kids, we know they have some challenges when they're shifting every 3 years to a different school and community. So that's great. But you work closely with the Oceanside Unified School District, I imagine, or all the districts that are off of the 78 corridor.
So our partnership is really deep and sustained with Oceanside Unified. It's a program that's been core to the museum since 2011, actually. And it's a part of the museum's operations that a lot of people don't know about. But we do a program, and I was referring to it earlier, with 5th graders. It's called Art Quest. And so every 5th grader and every 5th grade classroom comes to the museum, and they explore a science concept through the museum's exhibitions. And that's been going on since 2011. And then in 2017, we initiated our literacy through art. And that is a program for 3rd graders. And we use the rich narrative and the storytelling in a work of art for students to really hone in and practice literacy skills. And so we serve every 3rd grader. So combined, it's about 3,000 kids a year.
Yeah, and I spent some time at San Diego Unified developing curriculum, and my favorite groups that I used to work with were the VAPA folks, okay? And because you could pretty much teach every single subject under the sun through visual performing arts. You can teach science, math, language arts, physics, history. There's not a topic you can't hit, when you teach the arts. And I've always been a proponent of, that if you took all the museums in San Diego County, and there's a lot of them, and they're phenomenal, as you know, stretching from Oceanside down to the border and in between, you could have every single grade level covered with every curriculum. And if we did that, you would have a lot of happier students and teachers when we did all that aspect. One of these days, that hopefully is gonna happen. Do you go to the schools themselves, or they pretty much come to you?
You know what? We actually underwrite the whole program. We pay for transportation, and they come to the museum.
That's great.
And that's a critical component and something that I really hold strong on that, because I think not only is the educational experience something that's valuable, but it's the exposure. And when I first came to Oceanside, we did a survey of our 5th graders, and only 88% had never been to a museum. So that's why we decided to do the 3rd grade program, in addition to all of the critical learning skills in terms of literacy for 3rd graders. But we wanted to actually offset that students should have access to the arts, and so the museum is really in their own hometown, and so we really wanted to make sure that students were aware of it. But also, when we do the literacy program, we bring them over to the library, and we partner with Oceanside Public Library, and they do a program that's the second part of our literacy program. So we're offering kids an insight into 2 free resources for them. And our aim is, when we open the expanded museum, which will include a dedicated education center that'll be on the ground floor of the fire station, that we'll be able to expand to other grade levels as well, so that we reach every kid in Oceanside.
Well, and again, as mentioned, that there's so much learning from TK to 12 and even community colleges for that matter, through museums, and when you expose kids to this, and you said something that is never lost on us, we've been doing this show for 20 years, the amount of kids in San Diego County that have never been to a lake, have never been to the beach.
Never been seen the ocean.
Correct.
Yeah.
That live in San, and people are just absolutely cannot believe it. I said, no, that number is true. So you're taking that one right now and say, no, we're going to get you to the museum. And then once they get locked into your museum, they've got all these beautiful other museums to take a look at. And there's nothing like preaching to the congregation, of course, of being in a museum. You can look at it, you can read about it, you could see it on video, and that's all. That's better than nothing.
Absolutely.
But nothing, just like live music.
Well, I'm a museum person, and so the authentic object is really primary. And the other thing that we do is during the pandemic, we decided we did not want to stop services. So we partnered with KOC, our local community television, and we created videos. And then they were so well received. And it was a really fabulous opportunity for us to prime the students on what it is they were going to experience. And I'd like to also point out that we do professional development with the teachers. So the teachers are learning how to use the arts as a way to expand curriculum, and also as for every student learns in a different way. And so using the arts as an opportunity to unlock learning for some of the students that are learning in a different way. And so we do the professional development. We do these videos. Kids get they get access to the artwork that they're going to experience. And when they come into the museum, they are just so excited but competent, because they've been primed.
Right.
And so you see them walk into the galleries and they just are screeching like, oh, there's this painting and there's the lemon lady, or it's just really super fun to see. And it's just what we live for.
Yeah, when we come back from break, we're chatting more with Maria Mingalone. She's the executive director of the Oceanside Museum of Art, and to be remiss if we didn't talk about the gala on July 18 and Art After Dark on October 24.
Fantastic.
When we come back after this very short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg with Cloudcast Media. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the community show, nation's longest running community podcast, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in the community. So pleased to have in the studio with us today is Maria Mingalone. She is the executive director of the Oceanside Museum of Art, going to be expanding big time shortly. Very excited about that aspect of it, talking about all the cool exhibits, their work with the 3rd and 5th graders in the Oceanside Unified School District and beyond, obviously. But talk about the July 18 gala. What's that all about?
Well, all of the things that we've been talking about would not happen if we didn't have community support. And so the gala is our premier fundraiser that we do on an annual basis. And it's an opportunity for the community to come together. They get to learn about what the museum is doing and the impact that we have in the community. And foremost, they also get to support that. So OMA has a very unique event acumen, if you will, and our galas are very unique in that we often have artists or artistry, and so they're fun and they're different. But our gala is also outdoors under the stars.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it going to be at the museum?
So we start at the museum with a reception, champagne reception,
Okay.
and silent auction, and then folks wander over to the beautiful Civic Center Plaza, and that's designed by Charles Moore. So it's a gorgeous location architecturally, and there's a beautiful fountain, and then we have dinner, we have dancing, we have a live auction, and it's really fun.
How do they get tickets?
Oh, gosh. They can just go to www.oma-online.org/gala.
Very good. And
Yeah.
just go to your website, obviously, if they didn't recognize or remember all of that. Looking for sponsors still?
We are looking for
Always.
sponsors. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have. We've had really great support, but we
Good.
are always looking for more because the work that we do is so critical for our community,
Right.
and we can't do that. We can't offer free admission and all these free education programs without our donor support, and we're really blessed to have a great community of supporters.
All right. And that's it's an evening event, I take it?
It is, yeah.
Starts
it
at what
is.
time?
It starts at 5 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll have dinner probably around 7:30ish, and then there's a great band, and they'll be dancing under the stars until people go home.
Exactly, if they go home. Yeah. And then talk about Art After Dark on the 24th of October.
Art After Dark is one of our signature events, and it started at the museum prior to my tenure. And we've just been expanding it over the years. And we do a huge, it's kind of like part burlesque, part circus, part. And one of the key things that we've landed on is a fantastic costume contest.
Really?
Yeah, and people are just so creative, and they come up with the most amazing costumes. So just coming, even if you don't want to wear a costume, show up and check out what people have created. It's just incredible. So it's a really fun evening. It's a fairly low barrier for people to participate, and it's, again, another way to support the museum, but it's also another way to have a really fabulous evening out and to be really artistic and creative.
Yeah, talk about Artist Alliance. What's that all about?
Artist Alliance, one of the things that I really love about OMA is that we are really boldly elevating Southern California artists. That is our mission. That is our focus. And Artist Alliance is a membership level that you can add on to a regular OMA membership. And we have 600 Artist Alliance members, which is really incredible. And in that, what their benefits are, and the reason that they are identifying as artists, is that we're promoting the artist development. So we do all kinds of programs that benefit our Artist Alliance members. We do our off-site exhibitions all over the county in galleries. We have 4 to 5 off-site exhibitions a year. Every other year, we do a museum exhibition of our Artist Alliance members. We have critiques, formal and informal. We'll have great gallerists from LA, San Diego. We'll have art professors, and they come and they critique our artists' work, so they learn about how to develop their work. It's just an incredible, there's all kinds of socials. We do social networking where we meet in off-site locations, or they'll meet every month. We have coffee and conversation at the museum. We do professional development workshops. So it's just a critical part of the museum's operation. And we love our artists, and we support artists, and we support their careers.
So what's the website? How do people get involved with you folks again?
It's www.oma-online.org.
Well, listen, enjoyed the conversation, Maria. Promise you'll make a comeback, okay? And Chet, maybe you can come in after the gala and talk about how the gala went, and then maybe bring in someone who's involved in your exhibits, okay?
I would definitely love to do that, sure.
Yeah. And just want to keep the momentum going. We cannot talk about our museums enough in this region. Anybody who's been reading anything about the news know there's some challenges, at least in the San Diego city, you know, with this, to say the least. And again, I'll say something that I usually bore the heck out of my listeners with all the time. And it never ceases to amaze me in this. And of course, a lot of my education friends just cringe when I say this. But if you were to cut anything out of the curriculum, the last thing you should cut are the arts. End of story. In this for 45 different reasons. And even whether it's in the schools or it's just in the community, what you folks offer for so many different reasons, connecting families, the whole vibe of, collaboration. We need this in this world. Nobody knows that better than you guys. And promise you'll make a return appearance, Maria.
I would love to be back. Thank you so much.
You bet. Maria Mingalone, she is the executive director of the Oceanside Museum of Art. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, nation's longest running community podcast. Brought to you by the fine folks, the Mission Fed Credit Union. 60 years of doing great things in our community and to our audience. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.